All right, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mark Burykin, where we talk about business development and the inside scoop into what I am doing, what sort of decisions I'm making, my creativity, my roadmap. This is kind of what this channel is about. So I have a couple businesses that I'm working on. With one business, I'm helping out my wife with a thrifting business and eBay business, okay? And the second thing I'm working on is a SaaS product or products. In this case, I'm working on referrlink.co. Referrlink.co is basically a referral system. It involves clients and contractors, and each one can refer each other, but the contractor incentivizes the reward system, basically says, hey, for a lead, I'll give you 100, whatever. They set the price of reward to the client. So that's the system. Each contractor pays for the leads, and this creates leads, and it creates quality leads. That's the basis of it. Now, this app is a PWA app. Basically, it's not in the App Store. If you like to see what that looks like, it will actually take you through a process of putting this app on your screen. It's different from just a regular website. Go check it out, see what that looks like. Anyway, so that's the app I'm working on with eBay business. It's doing pretty good. May is pretty good, I guess. I didn't know that. It's our first year doing it. Pretty good with sales. So this is where I'm at. I'm like at the fork right now. And here's the question in my own mind that I'm doing that I'd like to share with you, which is simplicity versus complexity. And there's a third thing here, which is the wake of AI. How does AI get in this whole architecture? So, simplicity versus complexity. I'll give you an example. eBay business. And so eBay business is, if you're a seller, when you go into their platform, it's just this plethora of options. You go in there and you just immediately confused, where and how do I get to this? Even like, how do I sell stuff? It's a trip. It's like trying to figure out, where is it? Okay, so where is my notification? It's just so complicated, but that's because they became so complex. So their market grew, and so they wanted to serve more and more people. And that's why the software became complicated as well. And one of the reasons for that is when you start small, you start focused, and then what happens is you start to evolve this piece of software. But the problem is this piece of software from, let's say, 10 years ago only was capable of doing this, but now it has to do this. And going from point A to point B doesn't quite work too well. What you get is this complicated UI, the interface, which doesn't quite work well. It's not intuitive because at the beginning people haven't thought about it. And at times you can't get rid of the old code to replace it with a new code, because then you'd have to start over, and then you'd have to take everybody from the old software and put them into a new software, and that's not a good path. Not when you're making millions and millions of dollars. It's not a good path. It's going to be, we're going to evolve and somehow get there. So this is my issue, is that I have to think about, do I stay simple or do I start to think about more complicated? And so that means, do I create a more complicated piece of software now that has room for these extra features to come in, and my interface is created in such a way that it can accommodate new features? What I'm doing here is I'm serving local markets. ReferralLink is for small businesses, and so that's the segment. So my complexity is, okay, well, what else can I do with my software? How will it evolve? Everybody thinks about this. Can this become even a bigger piece of software? And then the answer is usually yes, obviously. But how will it look like? What do I need now to evolve? Because right now I don't need a lot of complexity, but as soon as I try to add things to it, it now becomes, I need to destroy this or destroy that. And how do I do that now? It's just going to be very awkward. I would have to like sort of almost rewrite the code, and then the whole interface becomes completely brand new, and people go in there like, This is not what I signed up for. Last day or last week it was this, now it's that. So that's the complexity. But if I create it now with the complexity, I can actually make sure it's future proof for the things I'm thinking of. So for a local business, the solution is not just a referral. Solution is what else does a local businessman wants? Well, he wants estimations, for example, or payment collection. Well, how does that play into my piece of software? Can I evolve it into that? Well, yeah. Well, how? So one solution is I'll create completely separate softwares. So now it's back to the same issue of, well, now it's 3 different pieces of software. They don't really talk to each other. And with AI in play, well, how does that connect things? So it becomes this fragmented, everything's fragmented, and then you have to mend things and band-aid things together somehow that sort of work. It's not cohesive. So if I want to, me personally, this is what I'm thinking about, if I want to go bigger, scale into more services, more plugins, now I have to think about, do I stay with this one single software, or do I now focus now, immediately, right now, like this week, start planning for something bigger? So that's my thing. And so there is another complexity question here is complexity even worth it, right? Because there is such a thing as there will be competitors. So for example, on eBay, they became so huge that competitors come in and can just grab their market and compete with them, basically. In this case, it's Poshmark. I'll use them as an example because eBay became so complicated. Poshmark walked in and says, we're going to focus on clothing only, and this is what we focus on. And they are competing, like our channels, the eBay channel and Poshmark channel competes with them 100%. Like we sell on Poshmark just as much as we sell on eBay. That's how good of a competitor they are, because they said, we're going to just focus on this. So that's called simplifying things. We're not going to try to grab auto parts and this and that. We're like, no, this is the only thing we're focusing on. We're going to be experts at this, and that's it. So that's sort of where also I have to think about, do I want to get into these other segments, or do I stick to only referrals, and maybe you can say ads, maybe, because that sort of also leads. So if he's like, you know what, I'm going to stay on referrals and Google ads and Facebook ads, and that's as far as I want to go. But even that creates complexity that I have to think about now. So my question to you is, do you stay with complexity and simplicity? And then you actually have to think about the future, which is AI agents. Well, what about AI agents? Do I receive AI in my business or not? Because if you think about simple things, simple apps, well, that's a very deterministic system, very programmatic, meaning it's written and it just goes through the cycle, versus an AI can make decisions now for you. So, for example, AI, if you get texts and stuff like that, hey, Frank, can we meet tomorrow? I want to talk about, my fence, which is about, I have a lot that's about an acre big or something like that. It gives you context, and AI grabs that and it puts context into it. So meaning that it can immediately create an estimate for you, for the owner. Frank just called you. I made you an appointment for tomorrow. You look like you were free at 5 o'clock. Bam, 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 it's done. And all you have to do as an owner, look at it, say, yes, yeah, get me this estimate. Give me those options that we have right now. And there might be a little bit of a history with Frank, the types of material he likes. So immediately it creates the things that it thinks we want to present to Frank. So that's where AI comes into the business and says, do I want that? So this is where AI comes in. And so do you want that AI, that capability or not? Or you're like, no, I'd rather keep it simple. Give me an app that focuses on this. Do I want to go complicated? And do I want to involve AI into this? But AI is going to be involved in everything. So that is for me a decision that I'm having to make now is like, well, if AI is going to be involved, I have to put AI into my software today. So that's where I'm at. That's the decision I'm having to make now for my piece of software. But I would like to hear your opinion. Do you receive? What would you prefer? Do you prefer simple apps? Do you prefer no? I would like have a solution. As I'm talking about as a businessman, I would like to have a solution that is cohesive for a lot of things. And it doesn't mean I'm going to use all of them, but at least I know it's there. I have the estimation there. If I want to open it up, I have collections there, like collecting the payments. I have referrals there. I have Google Ads there. I have websites there. If I want to, I can grab it. But I can still stay with somebody else if I want to. But at least it's there. It's a cohesive system. And AI is there also that works all of those plugins for me. It works cohesively, knows the whole context, it knows everything about the business, and it can connect everything together and give me a better result or a better response, or execute things on a much higher level because it has a larger context rather than just something small that it may just not comprehend the bigger picture. So that's where I'm at. Let me know below in the comments what your opinion is, what you think is the future, what you think you want, would you try it? Let me know down below. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.